In the last 3 years, I've went from being fat to pretty jacked, and during the journey, I've realized one thing. Most people at the beginning will underestimate how much time it takes to get in shape, but afterwards, they will overestimate it. In this video, I will try to answer the question of how much time does it take to get in shape, from both my own experience and science in general. Now, for me to explain to you exactly how much time it will take, I will need to go over a few concepts. There are 5 concepts that by realizing, you will realize estimately how much time it will take for you to get in shape. But before I go over them, I want to talk about my own experience. I have gotten in shape in the last 3 years. I've went through this journey, and I want to just try and convey to you how it feels, because that's what you will go through. The theory is nice, it's really nice, it's also true, it works. If you implement the theory, and the theory has been proven to be true, you will get the results. But subjective feeling, how it feels to get in shape, and just implement. So we are not robots, right? We have feelings, we are humans, we go through pain and shit like that, and I just want to convey to you this thing. When I started my fitness journey, I decided to dedicate myself. I promised to myself that I will not fail. Now, I had no idea if I will fail or not. I made this promise because I was so damn afraid of failure. So then I started and trained. Now, what I was doing at the beginning was 30 minutes of walking each morning, some stretching, some days occasionally because I had a problem with my feet. I also ate less food until I was 80% full, more low calorie dense food, more protein, not at the first week, but after learning I started to implement that knowledge. And with all of that, I also trained at home. I did resistance training for a few times per week. At the beginning, for the first 17 days, I did it every day, and then I stuck to around 3 training days per week while walking every day, getting my 6,000 steps per day. That was the amount of steps that I was doing. It would be a lie if I were to sit here and tell you it was easy, bro. Oh my god, it was not easy. I was not that capable of fitness, right? I was not that capable in the realm of fitness at the time. You can see my physique at the time. I was not jacked. I was in a really bad shape. My genetics for being athletic and that stuff, right? This realm of fitness are not that good. I had a hard time walking. On all of these walks, I had some pain in my feet, and after a month, I think, I got injured, right? So I got injured in my feet, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. And then when I went back, I started to play basketball with my friends, and this was a massive, game changer in my journey, because it made cardio a lot easier. I burned way more calories, but it was still hard. During the basketball games with my friends, I had a hard time running. I was out of breath after 1 minute of running. I didn't run a lot. My friends laughed at me that I didn't do it, and they were angry at me, my teammates, that I didn't run. I was that chill guy. There was no chill guy at the time, so what the fuck am I talking about? Here's the thing, the calorie deficit was hard. I needed to eat a lot less food than I was used to. I ate a lot less tasty food than I was used to. It sucked, right? But I had that goal, so this goal made it all worth it and gave me that extra drive to push. After 3 months, I lost around 30 pounds or 25 pounds, I don't have the exact number in mind, but around that amount. And I lost most of the belly that I had. I was still skinny. I was in around 20 or 22% body fat. And I stopped losing more weight because I went to the doctor, the dietitian, and he told me that I should not lose any more weight, that I'm almost in a healthy BMI, and I should just start taking resistance training more seriously. And that's what I was doing. So let's go fast forward a year. After a year, I got lean, so I did another cut during the time. I was training consistently in the gym for that time, and I finally got lean and pretty muscular. So it took me around 1.5 to 1.6 years to get jacked. My genetics are pretty good. I've learned a lot during the journey, so I've sat down and watched all of these educational videos, and I also was consistent with it. So these are 3 of the main components out of 5 that I will go over right now. I ticked them off, right? I was dedicated to this shit. I was willing to sacrifice for this shit, and that's why I managed to make so much progress. And that is the thing. Some of these components that will determine how much time it will take for you to get in shape are in your control, but some of them are not. Let's go over what is in your control right now. Consistency is in your control. Your knowledge is in your control, and your mindset that pretty much determines how good of a time you will have in this journey is also in your control. These two components are the ones that you can actually control by having a consistency that is 10 out of 10 and knowledge that is 10 out of 10 in terms of rating and a mindset that is 10 out of 10. You will make this journey both a lot easier, a lot faster, and you will get a lot of results. Everyone, not everyone, most people can get jacked. What is jacked? A good amount of muscle mass and a low body fat percentage. Now, the amount of muscle mass will depend largely on genetics, one of the other components, and then there is the last component, starting position. But everyone with enough consistency and knowledge will build some muscle and can get pretty lean. Everyone can get lean, but the amount of hardship that they will go through throughout the journey will largely depend on their mindset, their genetics, and their starting position. Now, for the sake of this video, I will assume that you are somewhat of a beginner to training. Let's go over the few components that you can actually go over and realize right now. The starting position component and the knowledge one. If your current position is bad, so that's the main factor that differentiates the starting position. If you are fat, then you will need to go through a cutting transformation, a weight loss transformation, a fat loss transformation to be more exact. This is what will increase your time frame in this journey, because you will build some muscle during that weight loss, but not as much muscle as if you were skinny or skinny fat. So your starting point will increase the time frame that it will take for you. And then there is consistency. Think about it like this. If you have a training plan 4 times per week and you go to half of your workouts for 1 year, let's say that instead of training twice per week, each muscle you train once per week. So you train twice per week, but one upper workout and one lower workout. For each week, you will reach half of the volume that you could. As an extension of that, you will also achieve half of the hypertrophy outcomes. Not exactly half, because of diminishing results, but you will achieve less results if we account for the diminishing results. So we just ignore this shit. It's there, it will happen, but it will happen regardless. So let's say that you train with 100% consistency for 1 year. You would probably achieve the same outcome when it comes to muscle gain as if you were to train for 2 years with 50% consistency, with the same genetics, with the same training plan, with the same knowledge. And that's the thing, so consistency will play a pretty big factor in here. And then there is knowledge, genetics, and mindset. Mindset is about you being positive. I don't want to touch this stuff, right? It doesn't really matter when it comes to results. It's just the time that you have on this journey, so let's just ignore it. Knowledge, so if you do things correctly to the highest degree, you will see as much results as you can from the consistency that you put, right? If you do things correctly, to the degree of 50%, so you train hard, you don't periodize your training, you don't get enough protein, you get almost enough protein, you don't know exactly what a great technique looks like, so you just move the weight, you train hard, so that's one thing that you do. With this scenario, you will achieve around 70 to 60 to 80% of the results that you could. So most of the results that you get from knowledge comes from the first 60 to 50% of the knowledge that you have. If you know that you need to train hard, eat your protein and sleep enough, that's basically what will yield you around 60% of the results if you train what you want to grow, right? Another thing. And that's about knowledge and genetics. So you can't really realize what your genetics are right now. Why? Because you have never trained for 1 or 2 years consistently. Genetics are a massive component for getting you jacked and for determining how much time it takes for you to get jacked and for how jacked you can get. But you just don't know because you have never tried. And that is the thing about genetics. You don't really know. You can guess, right, in relation to your current position. But if I were to guess my genetics in relation to my position at the beginning, I would guess that my genetics are really bad. But after 2 years of training, I can confidently say that my genetics are great, and you can probably say it too. Not in an arrogant way, I can't really control this stuff, so that I don't really care about this stuff at all. I just go and work and do it consistently and have the knowledge, and that's what will build me results, and the genetics is just the multiplier of these results. If my genetics are great, I will see a lot of results. If my genetics are bad, I will see less results. You will know after a year or two. But until then, just keep going, just keep doing it consistently and amass the knowledge. How do you amass the knowledge? You watch educational videos like this one, like Jeff Nippard's one, like Mike Israel ones, like Coach Greg's ones, or you just get a course in the description. And that's essentially it. If you enjoyed this video, you can like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, then tell me why, because I want to make them better and help you more, right? I'll see you tomorrow.